Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Late for the Party on YouTube. I am your host, Harry Labrea, aka Coverboy, the Modern Marvel. That's right, you guys. We are going to get into an word around the campfire segment, which is my favorite, as usual, because I like to tell everybody on what's going on, and I like to give them my take. Before we get into that, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the podcast, hit that bell in the notification section of YouTube to where you can get all the upcoming content, and tell a friend, tell a foe, let everybody know that this is late for the party and this is how we go. Also, check out teespring.com where you can get the cool late for the party t-shirts and whatnot, especially my favorite, cancel culture these nuts. Well, pretty much. But either way, you guys, here we go. Let's get to it. Pretty much what we're going to talk about today is representation and like how things were going with just like with gender swapping and race swapping characters, because today's topic, word around the campfire, that the new neighborhood friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is coming out on Disney Plus. And well, let's just cut to the chase, but they're making Norman Osbourne and Harry Osbourne black. Now keep in mind, I'm a black man myself, and I honestly feel I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because if you're going to just change, you're just reinventing the wheel and you're just changing a person's gender or race just because of, oh, there's not enough representation. But there's a whole lot of people in Spider-Man's like catalog that you can fill in the blanks without changing like their gender or changing their race. That doesn't make any sense. And honestly, to me, it really doesn't work. If you want to make a show equal on like an equal playing field, then use characters that are not being used. I don't even care about writing a story. Even if you're writing a story to where, like, I remember watching Iron Man Armored Adventures. Okay, it has nothing to do with, like, modern day Tony Stark. We talking about if Iron Man was in high school being Iron Man, like how Spider-Man used to be when he was a kid, like when he was like Spider-Man when he was in high school and whatnot. That stuff is cool to me, because then not only it's a fresh take, it's a different look. But they kept Rhodey black, they kept Pepper white. Hell, even what's his name, Mandarin, his like he was going to school as a foreign exchange student, and he would wind up being the Mandarin and whatnot. It was a lot, but it was dope though. It was a dope story. And honestly, I feel that to be a lot cooler to do than sitting there, oh, we're just going to change this person's race. We're going to change this person out just so we can fit the status quo, and, so we don't have to worry about, oh, we're just swapping genders. Or it's just ridiculous to me. It never worked. Even back then, like I remember in Spawn, Terry Fitzgerald, Al Simmons' best friend in the comic books, he's black, but in the movie, they turned him white. It was what, D.B. Sweeney or something like that, and he was white. Even with, rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan, when they made him Kingpin up in Ben Affleck's version of Daredevil. Hell, we're not even going to talk about the debacle of Michael B. Jordan being Human Torch and we had and then we had what's her name, Michael B. Jordan being black and Susan Storm being his sister, being white. Help me make it make sense. I mean, but then if we don't put it to a screeching halt, I mean, even with Kang the Conqueror being, I mean, doing that to Kang the Conqueror and whatnot, it kind of, yeah, you can make the excuse to where it's like a different universe, or it's to the multiverse, and as messy as that shit can be. I mean, you gotta give like legitimate and honest reasons why it's like you would even do it in the first place. Just because you want representation. I'll give a better shining example. The first Suicide Squad with Will Smith. They're making Floyd Lawton Deadshot. And it's like, oh, you can make him black. You turn Floyd Lawton into Will Smith. Like, why? Oh, because there's not enough black characters, and we need more black representation, or we needed more ethnic. Like, even as a black man, I can't stand that shit. Just keep it the way it is. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you want to create characters and your image and everything, use the characters that are already in the system. You know, if you want a person who has the abilities of a Superman, use fucking Icon. Or and there's a difference between legacy characters, or like characters passing on the torch, or a legacy, even though I don't really like it, but I can understand it. I don't need, if I want a black Superman, okay, I got Calvin Ellis or Val Zod. But I don't need a black Clark Kent. You know what I'm saying? Just keep him white. Just keep him the way he is. Just keep him Kryptonian. Just keep him the way he is. And it's stupid to me because you want to change a person's race in a fucking cartoon. Word around the campfire, didn't they change Penguin in the Batman cartoon on Prime, where the Penguin was a woman? But then when you watch the Penguin on Max, he's a man. Help me make it make sense, because if anybody who watches it, who watches Batman for the first time, and they wonder, okay, there's a girl penguin on Amazon Prime's animated series, but then when you watch Penguin, and isn't he a Batman villain? And you're watching his series, and he's a man. I'm tired of the excuses of, oh, well, if people never watch the show, they're not gonna, if people haven't watched the show or read a comic book, then, okay, if they haven't read the comic book or read the show, why change anything? If it ain't broke, why fix it? Why change it if they've never even experienced the situation before anyway? Help me make it make sense. Because if you're going to do all that, and you're going to but you're literally sidestepping all the people like myself who's followed the books. And like I said, my whole thing is, I don't mind when it comes down to passing on the torch or a legacy, or if Bruce Wayne retires and he gives the mantle to somebody else, like Nightwing or Dick Grayson, or if he wants to have a black character like Lucius Fox's son, if he wants to be the new Batman, or there was a black Batman. But I can understand that. I mean, however you want to play it, I work with it. I mean, I don't recommend it, but I can tolerate it. But at least it's not a black Bruce Wayne or a black Clark Kent. You know, if you're gonna pass the torch, like even with Sam Wilson, like I can see Winter Soldier. I mean, I could see watching Captain America: Brave New World, right? Okay, Sam Wilson is now Captain America. He passed the mantle to him. Honestly, wholeheartedly, I would have felt better if Bucky would have had it. Because in truth, before Sam Wilson became Captain America, Bucky was Captain America before him. So, I mean, and I like the Ed Brubaker series of Captain America when Bucky was Cap, wearing a uniform. And that was cool. But now it's kind of like, oh, we need representation. We need to check these boxes and everything, so we're not offending the woke culture, or we're like doing all this representation stuff. And it's like it's tokenization, basically. You're tokenizing the character. I mean, I don't mind that. All I say, if anything, you could write a brand new story for the characters. I don't mind that, because the comic books does it all the fucking time. But when you're changing the origin of the character themselves, and keep in mind, we're going back to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, okay, now you got Norman and Harry Osbourne being black. For what? For what? Focus on Robbie Robinson, or, focus on other characters. They don't have to necessarily be black and, be a different race. Okay, how come you didn't make Harry Osbourne Asian then, or whatever the case? It doesn't, help me make it make sense. If you're willy-nilly to do all that, why don't you make him Hispanic? If you were going to do all that. But help me make it make sense. And then also, like, yeah, just because, they're not the main characters, so we can do that. You shouldn't do that even if they were second or third characters. If they were second or third villain. You should always keep it the way it is. And if you want to focus on new characters, make new characters. Make new characters for the series. And let us grow to like them. Hello, I'll give you 2 shining examples. How about this? Harley motherfucking Quinn. Harley Quinn was never in the comic books until Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s. They decided that Joker should have a sidekick, and they decided to create Harley Quinn. There you have it. Harley Quinn got so fucking popular in the series that they decided to put her into the comic books. Ta-da! Okay? Let's go to the Marvel side of things. Agent Coulson of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Coulson ain't nowhere near anywhere in the comic books until they did Iron Man movie, the movie of Iron Man 2008. Okay, he became such a dope-ass character that they even created a show focused around him. Okay? And he died. And they brought his ass back to life. So, and Agent Coulson is dope as hell. They even put him into Spectacular Spider-Man show. Nothing's wrong with that. And people will probably say, oh, well, now you're sitting there talking about Spectacular Spider-Man. What about White Tiger and um freaking Nova? Okay, they were passed down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't gender swap the character, the character. White Tiger's daughter is the original White Tiger. Passed the torch to his daughter, and freaking Nova. You know, they're like the Lantern Corps. There's more than one person who's a Nova out there. You got Richard Rider, and then you got what's the other boy's name? I forgot. uh, Jamie or something like that. Yeah, Jamie or Alexander, something Alexander. See, I'm even tripping, but it would be a different story if they made Richard Rider Nova Hispanic or Richard Rider Black. Help me make it make sense. You know, that's all I'm saying. You're not gonna just reinvent the wheel. You gotta stop doing that, because after a while, it just gets a little played. You know, it gets played. It doesn't help anything. I mean, all you're doing is not only pissing the people off who's been supporting this stuff before you guys decided to even utilize the IPs, but then if you want to create characters or even, you know, do stuff like changing their gender or identity or even pronouns. Oh my god. Just stop, man. It doesn't help. If you want to create characters, like I said, if you want to create characters in your image and how you project your worldviews and all of that, let them go through the fire like all of these others that's been here before the age of social media even became fashionable. Okay, before like it was even like popular, you know? That's all I'm saying. Just make it easier on yourselves. You'll feel 10 times better just doing it that way. Oh, man. Well, either way, tired of talking crap. But I digress from my point. So, either way, you guys, I am your host. About to say my music name. I am your host, Harry LeBrand, aka Coverboy, the Modern Marvel, signing off. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and support the podcast. You can check me out on all forms of social media and check it out. The link tree will be in the description. And as always, y'all, you're always on time when you're late for the party.